We'll just wait 1 second for the token to pop in, and then we'll get going. I really appreciate all of you joining today, and I hope that you all got some much needed rain, but there was no damage. I've heard there's some street flooding in Des Moines, but we are all safe at our office in Johnston. There's my code. Okay. So the token is an added level of security and it cannot be disabled. So we answer that question fairly often. When you log in, you'll see this welcome modal here. In the future, we'll post messages there. So if there's some scheduled maintenance coming up, we will be able to post messages to you there. Or like it says right now, if you wanted to join a webinar, you can do that. To click to register. You can go here to find resources. You can also find resources over here under support. And so we will take a look at those today as we work through the menu. And then how to contact us, our phone number, our email, or a support request form. I would tell you that if we are in the office and available, we absolutely answer our phone. So leave us a message and we'll call you back as quickly as possible. So clicking on home always gets you back to this home screen right there. As you begin to use a submission, we want you to think of this pending groups section as your to-do list. These are all groups that need your attention in one way or another. And we will absolutely work through all of these today to show you how to resubmit groups that maybe have a fee change or something that has been declined. First is how to change your password if you wanted to do that. So I've got my name, my email address. I can enter in a phone number here. And right here, I have this selected. By default, use party name information from the first document for all subsequent documents in a group. And I do have that in place because I only want to enter the party name once when I'm submitting a group. So I've got maybe a deed, a declaration of value, a groundwater, a mortgage, a power of attorney. I only have to enter that party name once. You may always edit that. So you'll see this in the demo that it will populate that name information, and I'll show you how you can absolutely edit that. But I think that's a nice time-saving feature, and this is something that came out of discussion we held with some submitters, some users in our focus groups, which were now about 2 years ago. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. The only change I've made is my phone number. I'm not going to update my password, but if I did, I would have to make sure that I met all of these criteria: uppercase and lowercase letters, a number, a special character that are included here, nothing invalid, 14 to 50 characters. Things that have worked really well for me are cities and zip codes. So those are, we're in Johnston, so Johnston 50131, and then special characters to get you to 14. So I'm not going to change that now because I've got that all saved. I'm going to go back to home by clicking up here. And then the next is eSearch. This is where you go when you want to search for a document that you submitted for recording. So you've submitted something, it was recorded, you get that email that says this group has been recorded. You come here and you would select recently recorded and then search, and you can see the blue bar indicating that it worked, and then you can dig down in. So we've been doing some testing with one of our service providers in Humboldt County. So we have got a lot of groups out here, and if you wanted to download that image for your records, you're going to select the submission number and then review document so that you can see that. And I'm not sure what this is. So we use a lot of test documents. So an old groundwater that we used for testing. So then you would be able to download that if you wanted to, or up here in the far left corner, there's a very small print icon if you wanted to print that for your records. Okay. You can also search by group name. So I'm going to put in group name and I will select Humboldt as the name. It's going to bring up all the Humboldt groups that we've submitted, but at least you know that that works. You may also sort any of these things. So if I'm looking for something in a specific county, that would resort itself. Let's go back to recently recorded and do that. So if I did this, so there you've got Adair. I'm going to be real honest that Adair is the county we test in the most, but we've been working in Humboldt. So you can see all of them, and it returns the 500 most recent records to you. And you can sort by all kinds of things, or you can search by different criteria. So I'm searching for everything that has deed in it. And so I get all the deeds, the warranty deeds, the quitclaim deeds, the assignments of deeds. And I'm not sure why we have, oh, declaration of value. We got this one because it has deed test in the name. So you can dig around in there and look for anything you want. Statuses, county index paid means it's recorded and the payment went through successfully. County index not paid indicates it was recorded, but the payment did not go through successfully. We normally see this on an account that uses a credit card for payment. And sometimes it means that the card has expired or there are not sufficient funds to cover the payment. And at that point, if that happened to you as a submitter, you would receive an email telling you that the payment had failed. And all you need to do is log in and update your payment information. So the search function works really well. You can also search by county. So if we searched in Adair for everything since June of this year, oh, and we need an ending date. There you go. And so again, you see the blue bar that it worked. So you knew that it was going, and then all of the information that we have here. So search works really well and we like it. If you ever need help with that, always reach out to our office. Next is the new function, which is the ILR search. So if you are an existing eSubmission customer, we have connected with an admin on your team, asking them to complete and submit an application so that the organization is agreeing to our new terms of service. We're not going to create a new account. We're not going to set up new usernames and passwords. All we're doing is asking that to be done so that the new search can be enabled on your account. So then that will allow you to have single sign-on. It does need to be enabled in the account for each person that is a submitter user. So if I were to go back here to submitter, and when we get to admin and users, I'll show you how that works. But this is a new search interface, and we can do a name search. And we're going to search by Phil Dunshee, who is our project manager. And I'm using the wildcard here so we make sure we get everything with Phil's name in it. I know that Phil lives in Polk County, and we're going to search for everything for him. And we got nothing. Well, that's not good. So I'm going to refine this search. Not sure what I did wrong there. Let's try again. Again, nothing. Corey, what did I do wrong? Maybe it's because I didn't put a capital in. I like how the county name starts to populate when you put that in. I swear to each of you that this works perfectly, and Phil has demoed this 100 times with his name in it. So what I'm saying to you is, if you are a new submitter or an existing submitter and you don't have search enabled on your account, please connect with us so we can make that happen. And then we do have a webinar that we recorded, and we can distribute that to all of you so that you and your team can work on that. And there will absolutely be much more training coming on this. The existing search portal will be deactivated later this year. So it's important that this happens for everyone. We asked eSubmission customers to do that by July 15th. And we've been working on getting some reminders out. So if you have not completed that application and need to do that, please let us know, because we're going to shoot some more reminders out this week. Okay, so
Lisa,
back,
a note from Corey. Her microphone isn't on, but she said to tell you that the search only works in the live environment, not staging.
okay, all right. All right, so let's go back to admin. So this is if you're an administrator on the account, do submitter information. And so that's going to pop up. Always select edit to make any changes. We've got the submitter organization name, user interface. This account number is an internal account number for us. It has nothing to do with anything related to your bank or credit card. The organization type, the address, the phone number, all of this information can be edited if necessary. So, and then always save there. And then the next one is if you wanted to update the account. Oh, as an admin, I have both functions. So I've got this here, which is exactly what we saw before. And we're going to go back here to submitter. Back to admin, submitter payment information. Again, you're selecting edit if you wanted to make any changes. And this is an internal account number for us. What I will caution you is if you determine that you need to make an update to this email right here so that the person who is receiving the summary of charges for a day is updated to who you want it to go to. When you do that, you must scroll down here and enter the payment information again. And if a payment fails, again, you'll receive an email notification. Notice there's no information here, but if I were to enter information here and then select save, it disappears, but it's saved in the background. There is room for only one account payment type in here. So if you need to pay from different accounts, connect with our team and we'll talk to you about maybe setting up a separate e-submission account. Finally, we go to users. So you'll see that there's multiple types of users over here and you can sort these. So we have first the admins. You can have as many users and as many of each role on your team as you would like. There's no cost for that, and opening a separate account or establishing a separate account doesn't incur an additional cost. So we've got the admins. Those people can submit documents for recording. They can edit groups that other users on the account have created, and maybe they've been declined and that person is out and you want to take care of that. So an admin can work on those. They can update payment information. They can establish new users. They can edit the account information, and they can generate reports. So in this organization, the new search is turned on. We've got a search user. So this person is only able to search. This person cannot submit documents for recording, but you can absolutely edit that if you need to by making them a user here if you wanted to do that. Okay, and this will take us back. And then we've got a submitter in accounting. So this role came out of our discussions with our focus group participants. So this person is somebody in the accounting role. They're able to generate reports for reconciliation. They cannot submit documents for recording, and they can update payment information. Then we've got the admins that I discussed, and they're all turned on for search. This is a submitter user, so they can submit documents, but they can't search. So I'm going to go ahead and turn Bob on for searching right there. And while I'm in here, I'm going to update his preferences so that he does have the same party name, because I personally believe that's such a huge time saver. And then we've got this accounting user who can also do search. So we've got lots of roles, and we're absolutely willing to help you with that. Please know that the legacy search application will go away later this year. And so if you have users in your organization that only search, we will need to get them added to here in here as a search, okay, as a searcher. I'm going to go back to submitter here. And we're going to talk about one more thing up here. We're going to talk about reports. And I love this settlement report that we have right here. And we're going to do just the current month, generate the report. It generates quickly. And so you've got the county it was recorded in, the charge for this document, the submission number. You can export this to any of these formats, but you've also got the book and page. So I really like this information. And you can see who submitted it. So if you've got a question for somebody in your organization about, hey, who are we charging this to? That's out there for you. But I really like this report, and I like that it generates quickly. If you use the legacy application, you know that it had to generate overnight. There was a workaround by using payment history, but it's still out there. And then we've got the group delete, and I'm not 100% sure this is active, so we're going to skip that. Under support, we've got resources that will take you to our main Iowa Land Records page, the landing page. We'll let that pop up here. Anyone have any questions while I'm doing this? This is taking a long time. Okay, there you go. So we've got the real estate transfer DOV information. There was an update to that on July 1. If you're an e-submission user, so it has on the instructions, I believe number 22 was added, some guides, the new groundwater hazard process that became effective earlier this year. So all that information is out there. There's certainly some new information coming. And then we've got customer support. So this is how you can get to us or submit a customer support request. We pride ourselves on really good customer service and try to get back to everyone as quickly as possible, but we're only 1 or 2 people most of the time, so it does take some time. Our mailing address in Johnston, our support email if you want to pop an email to us, and our main phone number, and then how you can submit something down here. And we also have the transfer tax calculator. So it will calculate that for you right away. So close that. Okay, on to the main thing here. Let's talk about submitting documents for recording. So first step is new submission, select a county, a DARE, name the group, anything that you like that will help you find it later, and save. So now you've got this empty group. It's like the empty envelope you would address to the recorder if you're going to mail documents over, okay? The name can be anything that you like. So I used webinar, you might use a client name or a file number. Remember, it does need to be unique. So I would only be able to use this once, but I could add an extra @ if you're using a client name. So let's say you used Smith, John. Maybe the next time you don't put the comma in, or you run the name all together. So you've got Smith John as one name. That will make it unique, and then you'll still be able to use it for reconciliation. So next, select the document type. I'm going to do a deed package so that you can see how that works. So first we've got the deed. I could also select warranty deed if I wanted to. It's way down here at the bottom. These document types are alphabetical. The number of auditor transfers defaults to 1. You can put any number in here, but the most you can be charged in by Iowa law is $50 for 10 parcels. Enter the real estate value. If you don't have any value, enter $1. And then browse for your file. And I've got a bunch of things to save that we'll use, and then save. As soon as I select save, you'll see a couple things. One, the fees are going to calculate over here. So you're going to see a standard fee calculated on the number of pages in this test document that I attached. You're going to see $50 here. I'm going to update this to 1. So you're going to see $5 pop up here for the transfer fee, and then the transfer tax on this 7.5 million. And you're also going to see a new modal pop up so I can enter the party name. So go. There you go. You see all the information here. So I've got a person. I can enter a grantor or a grantee or an organization, and I'm going to enter Iowa State Bank of Clarksville and save. So now I've got all of the fees. You've got group fees here. You'll see as I add additional documents to this group that this total group fee will increase. This service fee here is high because this organization is using a credit card for payment, and there is a processing fee of 0.01865 assessed on all fees except for the $3 e-submission fee. So if this submitter was using a bank account for payment, it would be $3, okay? And so we've got organization, grantor, grantor. There's only room for one. I can delete that if I want to. And then decisions down here, it's telling me it's not going to let me submit until I add a deck of value and a groundwater. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add the deck and scroll down for that. And I'm going to find the image and save it. And you see that I don't have to enter the party name because it's already been pre-populated, but I can edit it. So I can take out Clarksville here if I want to. Okay. And then it's still telling me, okay, so no fees on a declaration of value. So you can see that the total fees up here didn't change, but I do still need that groundwater. So I'm going to go ahead and add that and grab the file and save. And if I could delete this party, but if I wanted to, but if I did, this system will tell me I need to add one. I'm going to add a couple more documents to this group. I'm going to add a mortgage. So I'm going to type in M and get to the mortgage. Save. When I select save, you're going to see the fees here, but you'll also see the total group fees increased by the total of this. So you can see 3050. The service fee is much smaller because there's less pages in this document, but you can see how that went up. Okay. And I still have the opportunity to add a document. So I'm going to add a power of attorney and save it. Okay. So you've got the fees here and you've got the total here. So now you've got 5 documents in the group. Things you can do at this point. You can delete them if you want to. You can rearrange. So if you want that power of attorney first, all you have to do is click on the submission number and drag it to where you want it, which I love this. I think it's so much fun to move them around. Okay. You can go up here and change the county. So if I didn't want to submit it to Adair, I could submit it to Humboldt, which is the other county we're using for test. So that updates that. I can delete this whole group if I want to by clicking delete. And if I do that, I'm going to get a warning up here. Do you wish to delete? This cannot be undone. And I'm going to do cancel. So it's there. Same if I delete this. Do I want to delete that mortgage? I do not. And so final step, always submit group. Okay, so it's either up here or it's down here. So we're going to do a hit submit group. If you have reason to send a message to the county as a submitter, you can put that here. If there are some really specific instructions or you submitted something in error, I would 100% tell you to grab the phone and call the county. If you submitted something in error and you need something declined, and call the county, ask for whoever's working on e-submission, ask them to decline it. Once a document is recorded, it's very hard to have it removed from record. So last step here, submit group. And now you see that it has been submitted successfully. So does anyone have questions about that submission process?
We haven't seen any questions yet, but I want to take a minute to make sure that everyone knows they can use the chat box or the Q&A section. Lisa's chat, for whatever reason, she can't see the chat box. So if you have a question and use the chat, please send it to everyone or to the panelist.
Okay, let's go through some more things here. So I've got some groups out here in webinar with the name of webinar. So let's work through the declines first. So you submitted a group for the recording. Is when that happens, the recorders receive an email. Okay, I can see them. What happens if you have your documents out of order when you submit them? Alyssa, I would tell you to call the county. I think and we can ask the recorders to jump in here. In most cases, I don't think they are going to ask questions. They may decline them and ask them if this is the order that you want them in, but I would absolutely encourage any recorders or their team members who are participating to jump in here. But I would tell you to call the recorder. Don't wait. Our recorders are very efficient. They get things done quickly. And so we don't want something to be recorded out of order. Okay, so you've got this, you submitted a group, the county receives notification that it's out there for them to review. They log in. Okay, so here's a message from Erin. She's the recorder in Boone County. If something is obvious, like a DOV before the deed, they will move it. But Erin, if something was like an assignment ahead of a mortgage, would you move that? I think it's hard to make that decision. Do you agree? There's so many legal ramifications. Okay, back to decline, and we can come back to this if we need to. So you submit a group for recording. The recorder gets a notification. They log in. Their login screen looks a lot like this when they log in. They've got all pending groups, so their to-do list, so to speak. They review each document, each image, all the information, and they decline some things. Okay, so first, what I want you to notice in this group of 5 documents is some of them are approved, some of them are declined. What you need to take action on are the documents that are declined. The documents that are approved, but not recorded. Okay, so you submitted these 5 documents as a group. They are forever a group unless you delete something and submit it separately, but these 5 will stick together. So if you decided, okay, I've got these 3 that are declined, they're kind of a hot mess, we can go ahead and get rid of them and then resubmit. That's your decision. But these were submitted as a group. So to resubmit, you're going to have to take action on these 3 that are declined, and and then resubmit. So click on the submission number and scroll down here to history. And this one was declined because it's not black and white. And you would have received an email. This is a sample of a declined email. So just legal does not match the deed. So that's what it would look like. If this was the same document that I'm looking at in the test right now, this is the information that would be right down here. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're not going to start over. You don't have to add a new document to the group. So you would select the submission number. You've looked at the comments, select edit. You scan it to make sure it's right. So you get a better scan and go down here to browse and make the correction. Okay. And then save. And then you'll see that this one is now in resubmission. Okay. So you got to continue to do that for the rest of them. Now you're going to look at this one that's declined, and legal doesn't match the deed. This is actually the document that I showed you the email on. And so again, you're going to make the change, get the correct declaration of value, and save. And now you've got 2 in resubmission. Notice that a couple things. First of all, this is locked, so you know which one you're working on. And if another user in your office was trying to work on this and clicked on this, they would receive a notice that it's locked and that you're working on it. Notice that it's still in recorder declined and submit group is not active because there's still this one in recorder decline status. So I'm going to click on the submission number. I'm going to look at the comments. Oh, they're saying that the groundwater is not required because of that new law in Iowa. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to delete this, and then the system is going to say, hey, you do need a declaration of a groundwater. Okay, so yes, I'm going to delete that. And now it's telling me that it requires a groundwater. On a conveyance document, a deed, a quitclaim deed, a warranty deed, our system is looking for what are sometimes referred as the helper documents, the deed or the declaration of value. When you don't have one of those, you need to select the exemptions. So in this group, I'm clicking on the deed, I'm clicking on edit, and I'm clicking on the groundwater exemption right there. Okay. You would use these exemptions also if you were submitting a deed in fulfillment of the contract, because the DOV and the declaration of value were submitted and recorded at the time the contract was recorded. So that's where this comes in, and then save And now this group can be resubmitted. Anyone have questions about that? Okay, let's keep going. Now we've got some groups in fee change. So again, submitted documents for recording, county recorded, reviewed them, and came back with some fee changes. You do have to approve those as a submitter. So you're going to select the group name. They're in your to-do list. Tells you the fee amount has been changed to complete. You select the fee change. So you could go ahead and just select these right away and it would go to resubmission. But I want you to take a look. One, you are going to receive the email telling you that the fees has changed. It looks much like the decline email. Okay, so submission number, and down here you can see the fees changed from $10.13 to $24.39. So this is an assignment. And let's talk about using additional transactions. First of all, you're not going to use it most of the time. Additional transactions are not additional documents in a group. Additional transactions are used when there's more than one transaction on a document. So each document assumes one transaction. So this assignment document assumes one assignment transaction. But if there were more on there, so the recorder is saying there are 2 additional, you would see this like if you were assigning a lot of the wind easements that we have, or you're a bank and you bought another bank, and so you're assigning all of the mortgages. Okay, another time you might see this is my favorite example because I think it's my dream. You have a first and second mortgage on your house and you win the lottery, because we all know that Powerball or whatever is really high right now. And you go into the bank and you pay off both your first and second mortgage. Instead of submitting 2 releases to the county, the bank could do is submit one document saying, hey, we're releasing this book and page, book 1, page 7, and then book 23, page 400 for John or whoever. Okay, so in general, I would tell you not to use additional transactions. And if you ever have questions, connect with our office or somebody at the county level. Okay, so you can see that it went up $14 and some change because they're using a credit card. That's why we've got the change. The $14 is right here. Okay, if you're good with that change, you're going to select accept fee change right there. It goes in the status of resubmission, and then you've got one more, and this is an affidavit of transfer, and the fees went down. So I was clearly playing around with this yesterday. So we've got one. This is an affidavit of transfer. In these webinars, I always talk about the difference between an affidavit of transfer and an affidavit of non-transfer. Affidavit of transfer, like this one, conveys property. That's why you have the auditor transfer. That's why there's the auditor transfer fee, often seen as a affidavit of surviving spouse. So A and B owned the property. One of them has passed away, and that this document is transferring the property from A and B to the surviving spouse. So there's always an auditor transfer fee for each piece of property. An affidavit of non-transfer is a statement of fact. It could be a trustee's affidavit that says, as a trustee of this trust, I have the authority to do this. It might be a purchaser's affidavit. If you live in an area where there are lots of homeowners associations, when those properties are sold, there is almost always a statement from the homeowners association saying that the person selling the property is current on their dues. Okay, so it's a statement of fact, and it does not, an affidavit of non-transfer statement of fact does not convey property. If you're good with this, all you're going to do is select fee change and then submit group. Anyone have questions about that? I love this new system. We've been using it for over a year. If you use the legacy system, I hope you can agree that it is much more efficient. Okay, let's go on to documents that are in progress. So anything here is your to-do list. We've got the in progress. In progress does not mean it was submitted. It means you started it and didn't submit it. So it's like think of it out here as a big waving hand. So we're going to take a look. There's no documents in there. So I'm going to go ahead and add some. Does anybody have anything specific they would like to see demonstrated? So here's a release of mortgage and save. And I'm going to do the grantee. So I'll use my name because it's easy. And save. And then that's ready to be submitted. I can change the county. So I'll update that to Boone in honor of Aaron's participation today. And I don't know who else is here, or I would use all your counties. And then submit group. These are out here as extras. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete that whole group. So that one's gone. So we like that. Like this is something that came out of our focus groups as well. And in the focus groups we had with the recorders, they are now able to delete all the index information. So if they want to, they can delete all the party information that has been entered. Okay, questions about anything I've done through the submission process? So let's talk about payment a little bit. We have a couple different types of payments that are available. One is using a credit card. That's what is being used by this test account that I've demoed on today. All documents except for the declaration of value and the groundwater have a $3 e-submission fee in addition to recording fees. If you use a credit card, there is that additional processing fee. And if you use a credit card, each document that is recorded is considered a transaction. And that's how you will see the line items on your credit card statement or your bank account if you're using a debit card. So if you recorded 10 documents in a day, you would have 10 transactions on your bank statement, credit card statement, whatever you're using. If you use and you would receive a total of charges at the end of the day, but it does not list the group names. And that is certainly an improvement we've had on our list for a bit. If you're using a bank account, so you can use checking or savings for payment, we batch those payments and go to your bank at the end of the day. I think it's a little bit before 5 o'clock and say, hey, submitter Bank of Clarksville that I used in my example here, they've recorded 42 documents today, and the total is $7,000. We're going to go out and request that $7,000 payment, and that's what you're going to see on your account is the $7,000 payment. And it says, I don't know, remember if it says Iowa Land Records or Iowa County Recorders or ESS. I'm sorry, I don't remember that, but it would be a $7,000 charge. And then that's where you can go in here to admin and reports and generate that activity report or the settlement report. And you would be able to do it for one day. And I might not get lucky enough so that you can easily reconcile that your total charges were whatever this adds up to. So I really like this new report. I think it's very efficient, and I like the additional information that is included in it. And also, since I know we have some recorders on the line, I can tell you that there is an updated report coming for all of you that will have more information in it so that you can easily reconcile your accounts. Corey and Kristen, what have I missed today? Well, both of you think, I'm going to remind everyone that we do have the new search interface. We do want you to complete that application so that we can get your account enabled with the new search. Legacy search will go away later this fall. There's no charge if you need to have additional accounts or additional users. We are happy to assist with that as always. And if you can't find something when you're in the search, we really do want you to ask for help. I love to dig around and help find things when necessary. I'm going to take about last call for questions. if anybody has any, or if, you know, as recorders, if you have comments, I would love to see what you think I've missed that you want to see, or maybe even what you wish I had said to submitters today, so that everybody gets a good message.
As people work on their questions and comments, Lisa, you showed us a lot of awesome stuff today. Can you go back to search to the live side to show us a sample of that?
I can, but you have to know that I'm in here as an admin. So you're going to see a little bit different view. So I'm going to wait for my token to pop over. Any minute now. It's usually very quick. Oh, hi, BJ from Johnson County is here. I'm so happy you're here. I appreciated your emails yesterday. So remember that I have an admin view, so mine looks totally different. I don't have the blue menu bar up here, but if I were to go, mine says public search. If I was to go here, then I would do name search, person name. We're going to enter Phil's name again because he's our project manager. I'm going to do PHIL and then the star, okay, the wild card. And Phil lives in Polk County, and then search, and we should get all of their records. So here's what I like. We've got the document type, we've got recording dates, we have names. You can resort here. So let's say we wanted to look, let's go by document type, so we can apply that. And it's descending. If we did ascending, we're going to have them in the correct alphabetical order. If you click here, you can view the index data. So you can see the grantors and the grantees. That's all. Okay. We're going to go back. Let's go down and look at, let's look at this one right here. So you could see Phil and his wife and who the grantors and grantees are, and any associated documents if you're looking for an assignment or a release or something like that. Okay. What else can I think of? Document type search. So I want to see all the mortgages in Adams County for this month. There's everything, and you can sort by maybe a reference number, so you can see all that. And I like that it shows more information here, the grantors and the grantees, and a little bit of the legal information, so that you don't have to click in there. If I wanted to look at the image, I would do here. If I had something to report that there's a problem, so it's indexed incorrectly, you found personally identifiable information like an account number, like a bank account number, a credit card number, a driver's license number, or a social security number, you can do that right here. You can click here, report issue with document. Maybe it's the wrong document, but you're going to select a reason, and then you're going to enter a comment and then submit. Okay. And I'm not going to do that, but that's what it would do. And then this ends up in a queue for our team to review and say, yeah, there is a problem. We need to fix that. If you tell us that something is indexed incorrectly, so maybe this was supposed to be section 19, we connect with the county, ask them to review their records and send us an updated index information. Okay. Or something is misspelled. We've had a couple of those recently where somebody was trying to find something, they couldn't find it, and they determined that it was spelled incorrectly. So we worked with the county to get that changed. No big deal. Does that all make sense to everybody as far as the searching? I think there is a little bit of a learning curve. We do have a recorded webinar. Kristen, can you get that out to all of the participants today so they can take a look at that?
Yeah, Ollie will drop a link in the chat because I don't have everybody's email today. We had a few extra people join.
Okay. Okay. And I think most of the extra people that joined are probably counties, which we love them. So any additional questions from any of you? I honestly, if you have questions, problems, concerns, something's not working the way you think it should or you wish it would, let us know. That's why we're here. And we like working with all of you. We have a ton of experience on our team. And I say we're a small but mighty team. So Phil Dunshee is our project manager. You know, he's been around since the inception of the project. I've been here for a long time. Our developers are Kelly, Mancy, and Myrna. They're all local. They all work remote. Kristen is our customer service coordinator. She's joined our team earlier this year. Corey joined us a year ago. And we have a new accounting person. Her name is Kay. And the other person is our policy coordinator, Cenceslo Leong, and she's been with us for a year and does a lot with legislation and policy. So we're not a huge team. We're here to help. There's about 23 million documents out there that are in the search database. And even though the number of documents that were recorded electronically last year went down, the percentage of documents recorded electronically went up. It was up to 60% last year. So we like that. So last call, if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, I know you all have things to do, and I really appreciate that you took time out of your day today to join us. Thanks so much. Have a really good day, everyone.